Sometimes, when we're just thinking about ourselves, the hardest part isn't how we feel, but how we think we look to others. Have you ever felt a little tense around family or old friends? It's like they're watching you, expecting you to be a certain way. Like you're at dinner and you find yourself choosing your words carefully. It's like you're putting on a show, trying to prove that you're still the same person they remember. You want to reassure them that you haven't changed, even though you know you have. Being aware of how others see us can make little changes feel way bigger than they are. Maybe you take a second longer to stand up, or you ask someone to repeat something. You might see a look of worry in their eyes. It's easy to feel a little defensive, like you've revealed something you shouldn't have. We worry that our loved ones are noticing these small things and starting to see us differently. We want to stay independent and keep our role in their lives, so we try to hide these changes. This just makes us even more tired. It's like there's a silent conversation happening, how we see ourselves versus how we think others see us. It's uncomfortable when someone offers help before we even ask, or when they simplify a conversation when we're around. It's tricky because we know they mean well, but it can feel like they're drawing a line around us. We don't want to be babied, but we also don't want to worry them. So, we try to act how they expect us to. But it's important to remember that they're dealing with their own stuff too. Our friends and family are also getting older, and their views are coloured by their own worries and memories. When you notice them watching you, remember that their view isn't necessarily accurate. It's just another way of looking at things, often influenced by their own assumptions. If we can see it this way, we can realise it's a shared thing, a slightly awkward adjustment that happens between people who care about each other. Whether you talk about it or just let it go is up to you. You don't have to change how you act or explain yourself. Just remember that how others see you isn't the whole story. Next time you feel like you need to act strong, maybe you can let it go a little. It's just another part of being human. Something to be aware of if it bothers you. Besides how others see us, the most real changes show up in the everyday moments at home. It's often in the kitchen or living room where these little things appear, when no one else is watching. You might reach for a heavy dish and realise you need both hands now. Or the hallway light that always seemed fine now feels too dim. It's like you're quietly changing how you relate to the things around you. The house hasn't changed, and the chores are the same, but how you move through these familiar spaces has a new rhythm. It's like your home is whispering to you in a language you're just learning. Maybe you leave a light on because the darkness feels heavier now, or you notice the floor's texture and choose shoes for stability, not looks. These aren't big changes. They're small things we do without thinking. We might say we're just being careful, but they're a quiet conversation between how we are now and the world we've created. We usually don't mention these things because they seem so small. It feels silly to talk about how a vegetable peeler feels different, or why you moved the pans to a lower cabinet. We worry that if we say these things out loud, we're admitting we've lost something. But really, we're just making our space fit our needs now. It's not easy to admit that our home is changing with us. We might resist, like moving a kettle is giving up, instead of being kind to ourselves. But noticing these changes at home can actually make us feel more grounded. It shows us that awareness is ongoing. When we stop seeing a slower pace in the kitchen as a bad thing, we can see it as being mindful. We're just paying more attention to how we move. You don't have to solve this, or even talk about it if you don't want to. It's just a way of seeing how we live in our own world. Whether these small changes at home feel good or annoying is something you can just sit with for a bit. You don't have to decide what they mean. Just notice how you reach for the railing or choose a chair because it supports you. These are the small details of your day. You can keep them in mind as you move around, a little piece of self-knowledge that you can hold on to or let go of. Looking at these small changes in our surroundings, we also start to notice that our days feel different inside. It's not always a big emotion like joy or sadness, but a quiet shift in the overall mood. You might be sitting in the garden or watching the rain, and things that used to feel urgent now seem far away. It's like the volume has been turned down, allowing for a new kind of peace. It's not that we care less, but we process our feelings differently. It's like our emotional limits have changed. We're less likely to get caught up in small daily annoyances that would have bothered us for hours. We seem to have more emotional energy. You might see something in the news or have a small disagreement, and instead of reacting strongly, you pause and just see it for what it is. This can be confusing at first. Some worry they're becoming detached or losing passion. But it might just be that your mind is being more careful about where it spends its energy. We don't often talk about this change in our emotional background because it feels so vague. We worry that if we say we feel quieter inside, people will think we're losing interest or pulling away. In a world that values high energy, being calm can feel strange. We might feel pressured to act more emotional than we are, just to show others we're still engaged. This creates a tension between our inner peace and what others expect, which we often carry without knowing how to explain it. But this calmness can also be a form of emotional clarity. When our reactions aren't so extreme, we can see things more clearly. It's not about being happy all the time, but about a steady feeling that stays with us, even when things change. It allows us to see our feelings without being controlled by them. This shift doesn't require us to do anything. It's just a different way of experiencing time. It's like fine-tuning our inner selves so we're less affected by the noise of the world and more in tune with our own rhythm. Whether this quieting of emotions feels good or strange is something you can just observe as you go through your week. You don't have to decide if it's positive or negative. It's just a change in the light, a new way the day feels. You might notice it the next time you face a situation that would have been overwhelming before, or you might just let the feeling be. It's just something to keep in mind, a quiet recognition that your inner world is finding its own balance. Maybe it's something to think about later, or maybe it's just something to hold on to silently, a small part of your changing perspective. Talking about these internal shifts and how our days feel, we often notice a specific moment when what we feel inside meets how others see us. It often happens out of nowhere. You might be at a family gathering or just with a friend feeling fine when someone asks, "Are you okay? You look tired." It's like they're holding up a mirror, but the reflection doesn't match how you feel. You might not feel tired, but something about how you look is sending a signal you didn't even know you were sending. This tiredness that others see is tricky. It's like a strange gap between your energy and how you look. Some notice that their face just looks different when they're not smiling or doing something. It's like your default expression has become more serious or still. We might feel like we need to suddenly cheer up just to show others we're still here. It's a small performance we put on to keep others from worrying or seeing us as weaker than we are. We rarely talk about how it feels to be told we look tired when we're not. It can feel like a loss of privacy, as if our body is telling a story we didn't want it to tell. It's like an awkward situation where our natural, quiet expression is seen as a sign of decline or needing help. We might over-explain, saying we didn't sleep well or it's just the lighting, even when it's not true. We use these excuses to connect what they see with what we feel, because explaining that we've just become quieter isn't always easy. It's important to remember that this observation isn't their fault or yours. It's just a change in how we exist. Maybe what others see as tiredness is actually a new kind of depth, a face that doesn't need to be constantly on or animated. It's a face that has seen a lot and has earned the right to be still. When we stop trying to fix how we look, we might realize that this outside quietness matches the inner peace we've been feeling. It's when the inside and outside match, even if others haven't learned to read the new language of our stillness. Whether you smile and answer or just ignore the question is up to you. You don't need to prove your energy to anyone, and you don't need to be annoyed by their concern. It's just something to be aware of, that how you look and how you feel might not always match up anymore. You can keep this in mind the next time someone offers you a chair or asks if you've slept well. It's a thought you can carry with you, a way to stay true to yourself even when the reflections around you feel a little strange. You might find it sounds helpful, or it might just fade away into your day. Gathering these thoughts together, the small changes at home, how we deal with being watched, and the quiet shifts inside, it feels like we're finally seeing a picture that's been there all along. People often realize that when they stop trying to explain everything, a more honest view of their life appears. It's not a picture of big events, but of these small things we usually ignore. We've been looking for big moments, but maybe the real story is in the experience of the path itself. It feels like we've been taught to only pay attention to the big and obvious things. But it can be incredibly relieving to just name the small things, like the weight of a dish, or how we pause before entering a loud room. By letting these things exist without calling them problems, we're taking back our own reality. We're moving away from the pressure to always be the version of ourselves that others remember, and moving toward a version that's more connected to the present. This isn't always easy, and it's not a straight line, but it's a way of respecting the life we're actually living right now. There's a quiet dignity in this kind of awareness. It lets us step away from the social expectations and inner comparisons that drain us. When we stop seeing the tiredness others see as a bad thing and start seeing it as a natural calmness, the world feels a little bigger. We're not just reacting to changes, we're watching them with curiosity. It's saying that these quiet shifts aren't just background noise. They're what our life is made of. This awareness doesn't give us a destination or a map, but it gives us a place to stand. What you do with these thoughts, whether you keep them to yourself or let them change how you enjoy your tea, is up to you. There's no right or wrong way to add these ideas to your life. You might find that just having some words to describe your experience makes that tension we often feel a little better. Or you might find that you don't need the words at all, and that the silence itself feels more supportive now. It's something you can just keep in mind as you go through your days, a quiet recognition of the complexity within you. Whether you think about this again or just leave it here doesn't matter. What's important is that for a few moments, we allowed the small things to be seen. You might find it helpful to remember this the next time you notice a quiet shift in your own rhythm, or you might find that it eventually fades into your day. It's just there, a part of your own changing story that's worth noticing, for as long as it feels important to you.